Dad was a very unusual man. In addition to being bright, he was a people person. He was a doctor at 23, as I mentioned. He had a practice, a general practice, in the Bronx and then in Yonkers. In his early days, he used to get paid sometimes in vegetables or in chickens, whatever the people had, because it was during the Depression years that he became a doctor. And then Dad took a job on Hart's Island, which was a prison island at that time, near City Island. And it was a commission by Mayor LaGuardia. So he and Mom lived on the prison grounds on Hart's Island, and they had their own home with 5 trustees, which are prisoners who are given a level of trust. And they had a cook, they had a gardener. In fact, Dad told a story one time about he had a gun, but of course he didn't keep ammunition around, and one of the trustees used to just love to clean his gun. He said, I'm sure that wasn't a good idea, but at the time, this trustee probably was in there for armed robbery, but he just loved handling the gun. Dad told a story about one time he had refused a prisoner some Vaseline because he was running in short supply, and a lot of them used to use the Vaseline to slick down their hair. It was very important to certain ethnic groups. So this prisoner got very upset. Dad found out later, but apparently one of the trustees came to Dad and said, Doc, don't go out on the ball field today because there's going to be a little excitement, I think, and it may not be safe for you. So Dad didn't go out. He used to throw the ball around with the prisoners. You might know it that particular prisoner had threatened to do harm to my dad, and the prisoners took care of that. They knifed him. So I don't know whether or not he survived. I presume he did, but he wasn't going to do harm to Dad after that. There was another story about my mother, of course, was a beautiful woman, and some prisoner made some off-color remark about Mom, and they took care of him too. So I mean, it was that kind of a world. Interestingly enough, while at Sing Sing, he met a fellow by the name of Frank. I won't give you his last name. And the reason Frank was at Sing Sing was to visit one of his 2 boys, both of whom had been in trouble with the law. Dad and Frank became very good friends, and Frank became one of his patients. So Dad told a story about Frank coming in for an office visit, and he asked my dad, how much is it? He was going to pay Dad. And Dad said, well, my normal price is $2. Frank said, hey, Andy, let me hear you say $5. So my dad said, $5. He says, now, did that take any more effort? In other words, you're probably not charging enough, Doc, So after the 3 of us were born, the family moved to Ossining, New York. We were youngsters. The Second World War broke out. In fact, I was with Dad in the car on that Sunday morning, 7th of December, 1941, when President Roosevelt got on the radio and announced that we had been attacked. And we were sitting in front of my dad's office and I heard Dad making all kinds of, oh my gosh, or, oh no. And I remember asking him, Daddy, what happened? And he explained to me that some bad men had bombed our ships in Hawaii. And so that was probably one of my first recollections.